So.
But first, he's got to join us here at the Nebraska State Fair. And Lance, I really like this guy. I follow him on Twitter, and he's a blogger as well. I got to put in a plug for that. But he is all about precision ag at CPI. And Lance, first of all, some people's eyes are going to glaze over and go, precision ag, what in the world are we talking about? You better explain what in the world does precision ag mean?
Well, precision ag, it's basically using the technology out there, such as your GPS, your yield monitors. And for us, CPI, we look at it as being able to place the right nutrients, the right seed in the right part of the field at the right time, helping farmers get those increased yields at the end of the year.
I know a lot of guys anymore, it's commonplace to have some sort of a GPS unit on your tractor that guides the tractor. The farmer just has to sit in the planter and the tractor just takes off and he has to turn around at the end of the row. But not only is it a convenience thing, but really we're looking in terms of efficiency and getting the right seed populations out there and then getting the right amount of water in the right areas of the field. You combine all those things together and you're really looking at the potential to increase your yield and increase your bottom line.
Yeah, it's a well worth investment. And then at CPI, I mean, we're helping farmers implement these programs and the technologies to really help them increase their yields, but at the same time reduce some of the costs that are out there.
Well, because we know that resources are limited. We know that we've got to use less water, got to use less chemicals. We've got to do all this. We've got to become more efficient. And incorporating a precision ag program into a farmer's operation makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, and at CPI, we have a lot of different precision ag programs. We have the WMS program, which is your water management solutions, where we have variable rate irrigation and soil moisture monitoring, so we can really help farmers place the right amount of water in the different parts of the field.
And those soil moisture monitors are one of those things that we were talking earlier that, 10 years ago is this kind of pie in the sky, kind of this, it seemed real theoretical, but now guys put these probes in the ground and it tells them, here's how much water you've got to work with, which, the old reality was if you saw your neighbor irrigating, you decided, I better turn my pivot on, right?
Yes, and exactly. And unique thing about one of CPI's water probes is that we can not only measure soil water content, but we can also measure salinity. So we can see how the nitrogen's moving throughout the soil, which is really great, especially with some of the restrictions that might be coming down the road.
Now you and your dad, you farm as well. I mean, have you put this into practice and have you found some real practical applications?
Yes, I have. We do have a probe on our farm, and we've not had to irrigate 2 times, and that's saved us the cost of irrigation, and hopefully we'll have that increased yield when it comes to harvest this fall.
And if you can save, like you say, a couple of times irrigating, that's money saved that you can use, on other things.
Exactly. I mean, it really is. You can put that money back into investing in more variable rate irrigation technology or even other upgrades to your farm. So.
And then you add all of these things together, and then, at harvest time, you've got the monitors as well. You combine the data at harvest with what you planted. You look at all these things. You put it all together. You can see, really decide what you want to do going forward, can't you?
Exactly. Yeah, and one unique thing about CPI is we have the CPI 300 program, which that really ties all those pieces together, and it helps those farmers reduce their input costs at the same time increasing yield by placing the right amount of nutrients in the right part of the field. So that is we view CPI 300 as that package of tying everything together.
Lance, I got to ask you, you're kind of a young guy, just a fairly recent University of Nebraska graduate going into the field of agriculture. Sometimes we hear, oh gosh, there's no future for young people in agriculture. I listen to a guy like you, and you're fired up and excited about all the possibilities out there, aren't you?
I am. I mean, there's no doubt. I think the future of agriculture is very bright. At the same time, I think we have to remind ourselves that there's a lot of challenges out there that we're going to face. So I really encourage young people wanting to come back to the farm, get involved in local organizations, whether it's the Farm Bureau, Corn Growers Association.
And FFA, you got your start with that,
exactly,
right?
That I was very fortunate to get my start as a high schooler in FFA and then eventually a Nebraska State FFA officer.
And I got to put in a plug. You have a blog out there. If anybody wants to check that out.
I do. It's called A Growing Passion, so you can go to that. I do blogs on different things in agriculture, things that are happening on the farm, policies, and all that. So.
Well, very good. And very exciting stuff that CPI is involved with, really being a leader in this area of precision ag. So if you have any questions, call your friends at CPI. Before Lance worked at CPI, he was a state FFA officer. And during the state fair, we caught up with the current officers. Here's more. Right now, I've got Bryce and Spencer. They are state FFA officers. Why don't you each tell me, guys, where you guys are from and how you're involved in FFA?
Like you said, my name is Bryce Duskid. I am from the Norris FFA chapter, which is south of Lincoln.
Yep.
My involvement in FFA, I've been in part of the Norris FFA chapter for 4 years when I was in high school, and now I'm serving as state secretary.
And Spencer?
I graduated from the Imperial chapter there at Chase County, and I currently serve as the state FFA president.
So you guys, this is a phenomenal opportunity to come out to the Nebraska State Fair and connect with folks and learn about agriculture. I mean, how do you guys assess how they're doing as a fair out here, Spencer?
I think it's, I've been showing here in Grand Island for the past 2 years when the fair first started here. Extreme opportunity. It's great to see. I talk about those moments, and yesterday working the beef show, to see the members, especially when the grand champions were awarded, to be able to be a part of those moments with those members was incredible.
I was with a gal from Ravenna this morning, and she won one of the sheep shows. She was a grand champion, and you know, everybody comes over and high fives and hugs and everything. And Bryce, for you, you know, for a kid winning a grand champion at state FFA, it's the state fair. You know, that's like winning a state championship if you're a wrestler.
Yes.
Or whatever it happens to be. You know, for these kids, they put in a tremendous amount of time, right?
Yeah, they put in a tremendous amount of time. A lot of these students here that are showing for FFA actually use this as their SAE project, which stands for Supervised Agriculture Experience. So they spend all year long raising these animals to come show here at the fair. And it's very exciting for them to receive what they deserve.
You know, and Spencer, for you and for Bryce, for both of you, we've been talking a lot during this fair about ag literacy, letting folks out there in urban areas who come to the Nebraska State Fair, and they're just kind of in education mode. They come here with an open slate and just say, I want to soak it all in. What a great opportunity to come to the fair and learn something specifically about agriculture.
Absolutely. One of our teammates is working over here in the birthing pavilion this morning.
Fantastic.
Great opportunity for advocating. When we were both of us at State President's Conference in Washington last July, that's one of the issues that the national organization has put at the forefront, is how do we get people to understand that the food doesn't come from the grocery store.
Yeah, and Bryce, you know, our food, we've got the safest, most affordable food anywhere, I would argue, and consumers need to understand that when they go to the store, they can feel confident picking up a good cut of beef, a good cut of pork, whatever it is, right?
That's very true. We do have the safest, cheapest food anywhere in the world, and it's great for them to see here at the fair, to be able to get exposed to the hogs, swine, or whatever they see.
And I met a kid this morning who's involved in both FFA and 4-H, and he says he and his sister actually started their own certified Red Angus herd, and because of experiences like this, now they're out there, they work with bankers, they have to make the numbers work. All of the life experiences, and that's what I think is so fantastic. So thanks both of you for serving through Nebraska FFA.
Thank you.
Up next, we'll tell you about the return of Marilyn Barnett for our special coverage of Husker Harvest Days.
Hi, I'm Haley Erkey, and this is Camry Murdoch, and we're from Orleans, and we love the fair because of all the endless opportunities we have with 4-H and FFA.
Hi, I'm Jessie Bauman with Nebraska 4-H, and what I love about the fair is getting to watch all the kids come and show their animals and all the hard work that they've put in over the year. It's a really great opportunity to showcase what the youth in Nebraska are doing.